Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of The Classical Republican. I grew up in the 1990s, late 80s, early 90s, and at that time, there was a political rage which is known as term limits. At that time, 17 states enacted term limits, but currently 15 only have them. There was an attempt to implement congressional term limits, but that was struck down by U.S. Term Limits, Inc., B. Thornton. There are two types of term limits. One is consecutive, the other is lifetime. Today, 10 states have consecutive term limits, meaning you can run for office for a time and then you have to take a break before you can run again. Lifetime is you get your terms in and then you can never run for that office again. Which is better? A lifetime term limit gets you into politics, 12 to 16 years, and then takes you out forever. It encourages cursus honorum, which is an old Latin term during the late Republic and in the early Empire, where you would take on certain offices in a certain order, and then you would you'd go all the way up to consul, and then you'd go back to the Senate and be an ex-consul who gets to speak. Your priority for speaking is elevated. And so it created a cursus honorum of sorts, and you would start with one office and then get termed out, and then move to another office, depending on the state, get termed out, and it takes all the knowledgeable people out of public office. So other powers that be, like bureaucrats, political parties, lobbyists, etc., will be able to take advantage and dominate the system more than they would in other systems. So this would work if there were a group of people who banded together and helped to create a pool of qualified candidates. I'm talking something more than just a political party. I'm talking about people mentoring young politicians and helping them to meet their potential earlier than they would just by actively being an elected official. Consecutive, I believe, is better because it forces people out of office and lets others enter office. But if the first person was better, they can come back and bring all that knowledge and experience back with them. Then they have to let someone else get some experience later. So it allows for more people to have a hand in directing the ship of state while retaining knowledge and experience in the long run overall. In pre-modern republics, most offices were a year or shorter. In small city-states of the Republican persuasion, citizens would switch in and out of offices, usually through sortition, random selection, and or election. The pool of candidates was small enough that most of them knew how public office worked. In my opinion, as a classical Republican, we should try for term limits at the federal level again, but it will require a constitutional amendment. And if you are not in a state that has term limits, well, you can lobby for that. So thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and share so we can spread the message of classical republicanism to promote civic participation, oppose arbitrary domination, and uphold the mixed regime. Long live the Republic.